What if the biggest risk at the airport isn't your luggage? It's that you're a kind, polite senior who hates making a fuss. Because scammers don't need you to be careless. They just need you to hesitate for 2 seconds. In this video, I'm breaking down 16 airport traps that hit older travelers the hardest. For each one, you'll get one sentence to say on the spot, and one simple habit that prevents it next time. Let's start with trap number 1, the one that can hit you before you even reach security. You're at the airport trying to get Wi-Fi, pull up a menu, or find quick info. You spot a QR code on the wall and think, perfect, one scan and I'm done. That's exactly the moment scammers are waiting for. It's called quishing. Same idea as phishing, just with QR codes. They slap a sticker over a real code, and your phone lands on a fake site that looks official enough to fool you for 10 seconds. And 10 seconds is all they need. Seniors get picked because scammers only need you flustered for 2 seconds. Because the page doesn't look scary. It looks normal. It asks you to log in, or confirm something, or pay a small fee. You type, it loads. You move on. They keep the info. So here's the rule to remember. If a QR code asks for money or a login, don't scan it. Look at the sticker, not your phone. If it's crooked, scratched, bubbled, or looks like it's sitting on top of another print, skip it. And when it matters, go around the QR. Open the airline's official app, type the website yourself, or ask staff for the real Wi-Fi name. Treat airport QR codes like a stranger offering to help with your wallet. Some are fine. The dangerous ones are the ones you trust on autopilot. Now, zoom out. The QR code was just the bait. The real trap is the Wi-Fi you connect to right after. When you open the Wi-Fi list at the airport, do you read the names or just tap the one that says airport with the strongest bars? That habit is how a lot of seniors get caught, because a network that looks normal, like airport free Wi-Fi, might be a fake. It's called an evil twin. Someone nearby sets up a Wi-Fi name that looks almost identical to the real airport network and waits for people to join. Even tech-savvy travelers get clipped by this sometimes. So if you're a senior who didn't grow up spotting fake networks, it's way easier to tap the wrong one because it looks legit for 2 seconds. The danger is simple. You connect, everything feels fine, then you log into something important. Your email, your airline account, maybe even banking. That's what they're waiting for. So use the 2-lane rule. Airport Wi-Fi is for low-stakes stuff only, like YouTube and scrolling. For anything serious, use your own data or a hotspot. And if you're unsure, ask one person at the gate, what's the exact Wi-Fi name? And use only that. Quick question, are you team free airport Wi-Fi or team I use my own data and sleep better? Drop one word in the comments, Wi-Fi or data. Now you put the phone away, start walking. And 5 minutes later, you're doing the airport restroom shuffle with a roller bag. That's where trap number 3 hits. You get to the airport bathroom with a big roller bag and you hit that moment. I'm not dragging this thing into a tiny stall. I'll park it right outside. I'll be right back. That's the exact window thieves look for. In a restroom, right back is never fast, especially if you're moving a little slower, washing up, adjusting, taking your time. A thief only needs a couple seconds to grab the handle and roll off like it's theirs. Nobody blinks because people are constantly moving luggage around. Here's how seniors beat this without turning it into a whole production. If you're traveling with a companion, you trade off. One goes in, one stays with the bags. Done. If you're solo, you don't leave your suitcase unattended outside the door. You take it in and you choose the restroom setup that actually fits your life. Family restroom or accessible stall. They're wider, the door closes cleanly, and your bag stays on your side of the lock. If the only reason you're avoiding that is mobility, use the help that's already there. Request wheelchair assistance through the airline when you book or at check-in. It makes the whole terminal easier, and you're not stuck doing the bathroom plus luggage juggling act by yourself. Bottom line, your luggage doesn't wait outside a restroom. That's the easiest steal in the whole airport. A lot of seniors say, I don't trust apps, I use cash. Fair enough. But the moment you step up to an airport ATM, there's a different kind of trap waiting. Scammers use tiny gadgets called skimmers and shimmers. One clips over the card slot, the other slides inside it. Both have one job: quietly copy the data on your card while you're trying to grab some cash. Sometimes they add a fake keypad cover or a pinhole camera pointing at your fingers to catch your PIN too. The machine still gives you money. The screen looks normal. You walk away feeling organized. But behind the scenes, just like that, your card's been copied and is out shopping in another city while you're still at baggage claim. Here's where you fight back in a few silent seconds. Before you put your card in, run your fingers along the slot and the keypad. If anything feels loose, wobbly, thicker than it should, or like a plastic shell stuck on top, move on to another machine. Always shield your hand when you type your PIN, even if there's a camera right above you and people around. And when you can, pick an ATM that's inside a bank branch, inside a well-lit main hall, or right next to a staffed counter, not a lonely unit by a side door. Cash is king, sure, but only if the king isn't being copied at the airport. And since we're already talking about money, let's move to trap number 5. The airport exchange counters and helpful cashiers who don't need any gadgets at all. They can shave off your money the old-fashioned way, right in front of you. You walk out of arrivals, see that big currency exchange sign, and think, perfect, I'll grab cash and be done. This is where a lot of travelers, especially seniors, lose money without even realizing it. Because the game is simple: a bad rate, a fee that shows up after you've mentally committed, and fast counting when they hand you the bills. There's a line behind you. You don't want to hold it up, so you nod, take the cash, and walk away lighter than you expected. And seniors get hit more because airport counters feel official and safe. So it doesn't feel like the place you need to double check. So here's the rule: airport exchange is emergency only. Step 1. Exchange just enough for a taxi, a train, maybe a coffee. That's it. Step 2. Do the rest later, at a real ATM, your bank option, or a better rate place in the city, when you're not standing under bright lights with someone rushing you. And before you hand over a big stack of cash anywhere, take one breath and ask one question: what's the total I'm getting after fees? Quick comment check: exchange? Yes or no? Most people treat a boarding pass like just a ticket and a baggage tag like just a sticker. But that barcode can share more than you think. And seniors get hit here in a really innocent way. A lot of people keep old tags on the suitcase like little travel trophies. Like, look at everywhere this bag has been. But you're basically leaving a trail of barcodes and trip info on the outside of your luggage, and it's riskier than it feels. In plain English, if the wrong person gets a clean photo of that code, they can sometimes pull up details tied to your trip: your name, your flight info, and in some cases enough to start messing with your booking or your miles. So here's the rule to remember: don't post your boarding pass, and don't leave old tags intact. No boarding pass selfies, not half covered, not it's blurry. Just don't. And once you're done traveling, keep your used passes and tags with you until you're home. Then destroy the barcode, tear through it, cut it up. Don't toss it in one clean piece. Treat them like temporary ID, not scrap paper. And speaking of special access on travel documents, the next trap is all about fake VIP deals and senior-only upgrades that exist mostly to drain your wallet. For a lot of older travelers, the idea of a quiet lounge and skipping long lines sounds like heaven. And that's exactly why fake VIP for seniors offers show up so often. Sometimes it's an email that looks kind of like it's from your airline. Senior lounge access, half off today, with a big Pay Now button. Other times, you're already in the terminal and someone with a badge around their neck walks up and offers you a special fast lane for a small cash fee. It sounds reasonable, especially if your back or knees are already complaining. Here's what to remember: real lounge access and real priority options don't get sold to you in a hallway. If it's legit, it shows up in the airline's official app or website, your credit card benefits, or a lounge program you looked up yourself. If it's a stranger walking up to you with a deal and a deadline, it's not VIP, it's a trap. And the way it usually ends is ugly. You pay, you walk to the lounge, they scan your code, and the agent goes, I'm sorry, this isn't valid. No access, no refund, and the person who helped you is gone. So make it a rule. VIP, lounge, priority, fast track. Any of those words only count if they come from the official source you can verify. And out in that same hallway, there's another offer that sounds even more practical. Let me help you with those bags. That's where trap number 8 begins. After a long flight, let me help you with those bags can sound amazing, especially when the person has a lanyard, a badge-looking thing, and the confidence of real airport staff. Here's the problem. Sometimes that help turns into pressure. Beat 1 is the bags. They grab your cart or your suitcase, walk you toward the doors, and then the tone changes. You need to pay me. Not a tip, a demand. And the scary part is their hand is still on your stuff while you're standing there trying to decide how to respond. So make this your rule. Nobody gets to hold your luggage hostage. Ever. If you didn't ask for the help at an official counter, you don't owe anything. Take your handle back, say no thanks, and keep moving toward a uniformed employee or an information desk. Beat 2 is your phone. Once you're outside, someone offers to help you call a taxi, set up the official ride app, or scan something for you. Don't, because the moment your phone is in their hands, you're one tap away from the same traps as before. Fake sites, stolen codes, or a payment screen you didn't mean to open. So here's the simple version. Don't hand over your bags, and don't hand over your phone. If you need help, you go to them. An official desk, a marked counter, a clearly identified employee. And for rides, use the apps you installed at home, or follow the official signs to the real pickup area. Because this next trap doesn't need technology at all. It just uses your politeness against you. You're standing in line, minding your own business, when something messy happens right next to you. A handful of coins scatter on the floor. Someone drops a whole stack of papers and starts apologizing nonstop. Naturally, you look down, try to help, or at least deal with the mess. That tiny moment of distraction is the whole scam. And if you're over 70, my condolences, because pickpockets love that. Not because you're careless, because your reflexes aren't as lightning fast as they were at 25, and they only need one clean second. While you're focused on that little disaster, a second person slides in close. They're not shoving or running. They're calmly unzipping your bag, easing a wallet out of a pocket. By the time the last coin is picked up and everyone's saying, "It's okay, don't worry, your most important item may already be heading the other way." Here's the reflex that protects you. Whenever something sudden happens right next to you, spills, drops, bumps, your first move isn't to help. Your first move is to touch your stuff. One hand on your bag, one quick check of your pocket or money belt. Then you bend down, take the napkins, help with the mess. By doing that, you're no longer the easy target. And not every emotional moment at the airport involves spilled coffee. Some are designed to tug at your heart instead of your sleeve, like the donation boxes and charity pitches that quietly drain your cash. That's trap number 10. Lately, a scam has been popping up at airports across the US and Europe. And it's sneaky because it doesn't feel sketchy at first. You're at a self-service kiosk or bag tag machine, and someone who looks like airport staff steps in to help. They're quick, confident, super friendly. Your problem gets solved in seconds, and you're relieved. Then comes the switch. Right before you walk away, out comes a clipboard with an official-looking donation form for some charity. There are already a couple amounts written down, one usually pretty high, so the smaller one suddenly feels reasonable. And now you're standing there thinking, well, they did help me. That's the trap. Pressure dressed up as kindness. A lot of older travelers get pulled in because you don't want to be rude, and you definitely don't want to offend someone waving the word charity around. Tossing in a small amount feels harmless, like you're doing the decent thing and moving on. This clipboard donation hustle has been common in parts of Asia for years, and now it's showing up more and more at airports in the US and across Europe. Here's your line, simple and calm. I don't donate in person. I only donate through the official website. And for next time, keep it simple. If you need help at a machine, go to a clearly marked official desk or ask a clearly identified employee. Never the person who appears out of nowhere with a charity form. Some scams don't start with fear or guilt. They start with company. You're sitting at the gate, scrolling your phone, and someone nearby makes a joke about the delay. You laugh, they laugh, and 10 minutes later, you're having a real conversation. And honestly, travel can feel lonely, especially for senior travelers. So that little airport buddy feeling is nice. Then the turn happens. They mention a problem. Their card isn't working. They're short for a fee. They just need a little help. And eventually you hear the line, "Could you spot me? I'll pay you back." Be extra alert here, because I know a lot of older travelers are trusting and soft-hearted, and scammers aim straight for that. Here's the rule. Chatting is free. Money isn't. Use this polite exit line. "I'm sorry, I can't help with money, but the information desk can." And if a stranger can make you feel responsible, the next trap is even easier, because this time, the person looks official. That's trap number 12. You step out of the airport with one goal: get in a car and sit down. That's why this trap works so well, especially on older travelers who are tired, sore, and just want the fastest option. First version: the taxi guy who skips the line. He's friendly, he's confident. Taxi, good price, no wait. You follow him, and then the ride starts with the oldest trick in the book: no meter, or the meter is broken. You get to your hotel, and the price is suddenly way higher than it should be. Second version: ride share, but not your ride. Scammers hang around the pickup zone watching who's staring at their phone. They'll call out a name like they're your driver, or they'll act like they're confirming your ride. If you get in, they'll push you to pay cash or tell you to cancel the trip to fix the app. The moment you do, that ride isn't tracked anymore. So here's the rule that saves you. Before you touch the door handle, match 4 things on your screen: license plate, car make, car color, driver name and photo. Not close enough, exact. And for taxis, stay in the official line at the marked stand. Anyone waving you over from the side with good price energy is background noise. A real driver won't rush you, won't demand cash off the app, and won't get offended that you verify who they are. Ever wonder how a $49 a day rental turns into a bill that makes your jaw drop? At the counter, the agent stays friendly while quietly stacking extras on top of your booking. A little protection here, fuel service, roadside. The screen spins toward you. Half the box is already checked. There's a line behind you, and you only want to sign and get it over with. That's how a simple rental quietly gets padded with things you never really agreed to. Then comes round 2, the mystery damage. You drop the car off, catch your flight, and think you're done. A few days later, an email lands. New scratch on bumper, rim scuff, chip in windshield. You don't remember any of it, but without proof, it's your word against their photos, and the charge often hits your card first. Here's how you tilt the game back in your favor, especially if you're over 60 and hate arguing on the phone. Slow things down at the desk. It's okay to say, "I want the basic rental, nothing extra," and have them remove add-ons one by one. Take a photo of the final price on the screen or the printed estimate before you sign. Then use your phone like a shield. Before driving away, take a short video walking around the car: sides, corners, wheels, windshield, interior. Point at any scratches or dents and say the date out loud. When you return it, hand the keys to a person, ask for a quick look, and keep any "all good" slip or email they give you. Your phone becomes your quiet witness. So when someone tries to remember the car differently, you've got the story already recorded by you. Quick question. If someone in a uniform tells you there's a problem, how fast do you say okay? That reflex is exactly what this scam leans on. You're walking through the terminal when someone who looks a lot like police or customs steps in front of you. "Ma'am, there's an issue with your bag," or "Sir, your documents aren't correct." The voice is calm but serious. Your gut drops a bit, right? And you're ready to go along when they motion you to the side. Here's where it turns dangerous. Instead of leading you to a proper counter or office, they start talking about a fine you can pay right now to avoid bigger trouble. Maybe it's $100 or $150, cash only. They ask to see your passport or wallet to check your cash and keep a tight grip on both. The unspoken message is, pay here and this goes away. And for a lot of seniors, that hits two nerves at once. You don't want trouble, and you've spent your whole life trying to cooperate with authority. That's why this nonsense works on thousands of travelers every year. Just remember one thing. Real officials don't collect cash fines in the middle of a hallway. If anyone in uniform says you did something wrong and brings up money, you say calmly, please take me to your office or an official counter so we can handle this properly. If they refuse or get angry, that's your answer. Walk toward a staff desk or a real security checkpoint and talk to someone there instead. Keep your passport and wallet where they're hard to grab, and don't hand them over unless you can clearly see you're at a real, signed official desk. If you've made it this far, and these tips are helping, hit like and follow so you don't miss the next airport traps that seniors really need to know about. There's one thing you never do at an airport. Say yes when a stranger asks, "Can you carry this for me? My suitcase is a bit overweight." If you're over 60, helping out like that can feel like a decent thing to do. But the second that item goes into your bag, it becomes your responsibility. But hang on, do you know why this is so dangerous? Imagine if that tiny extra item isn't as harmless as they say. If it turns out to be something restricted or illegal, security isn't going to go hunting for the nice stranger in line. They see your name on the tag and your boarding pass in the system. You could be pulled aside, miss your flight, and spend a very long, stressful time explaining something you never meant to be part of. Now you're probably thinking, so how do I avoid this? Here's the golden rule every older traveler needs to remember. If you didn't pack it yourself, it doesn't go in your bag. Not an envelope, not a gift for my relative, not a box that's just food. If someone pushes, you point them to the airline desk and let staff handle it. Your kindness should never put you in legal danger. Because the final trap isn't about what's in your luggage at all. It's about a phone call that hits seniors harder than anyone. Now we're at the final trap, and this one hits older travelers harder than almost anything on this list. Your phone rings before you've even left the arrivals area. You answer, and you hear a panicked voice. "Grandma, it's me. Something bad happened. Please don't hang up." They rush through a story. There's been an accident. They're in trouble. They need money for a lawyer or a fee right now. They beg you not to tell anyone else yet. It sounds exactly like your grandchild. And somehow the details line up. They know your grandchild's name, where you live, maybe even which country you just landed in. That part isn't magic. A lot of this information can be pieced together from public social media, details stolen when you used airport Wi-Fi, or your boarding pass that you should never have posted. And yes, sometimes AI tools can clone real voices from social media well enough to fool a tired, emotional brain. They time the call for when you're jet-lagged, alone, and far from home. There are always two big pressure points in this scam. Everything is urgent, and everything must be secret. That combination, rush and secrecy, is your giant red flag. If you ever get a call like this, don't try to fix it right away. Stop for a moment. Call your grandchild or relative back on the number you already have. Message another family member and ask where they are. One simple check often blows the whole thing apart. You can make this even harder to pull off with one small move. Set up a family code word before anyone travels. A short phrase only your family knows. If someone calls claiming to be your grandson in trouble and can't say it, the call is over. Scammers want you scared, alone, and acting on instinct. The moment you slow down, loop your real family in, and ask a few extra questions, their entire plan collapses. So after all of that, you might be thinking, why would anyone over 60 ever go near an airport again? But that's not what this video is for. Flying isn't the problem. Walking in unprepared is. So here are your 3 golden reflexes. If something asks for a login or money, don't scan it. Type it yourself. If you're online, keep airport Wi-Fi for scrolling and use your own data for anything important. And if a helpful stranger appears during chaos, touch your stuff first, bags, pockets, phone, then decide what you're doing. You can still be kind. You just don't have to be easy. Now comment one thing. Which trap surprised you the most? And if you're traveling with a parent or a friend over 60, save this and send it to them. Because the airport may be their hunting ground, but you don't have to walk through it blind anymore.